Hi everybody, welcome back to the War Woman Cabin. I'm Cammie. We took last week off to kind of catch up on a few things, but we are back and ready to start cooking from the Foxfire book of Appalachian Cookery. Today we're going to be making a really simple recipe for cheese. This is a recipe that I use a lot and it comes from the Foxfire book of Appalachian Cookery, and you just adjust it to meet your needs. It's really similar to the process of making something like cottage cheese, but I'm using a way to make ricotta cheese, which is more strained to get a little bit drier than like a cottage cheese would be. I love making this cheese and it's so good on pizza, on toast, or drizzled with honey and eaten with fresh fruits and vegetables. So this is a great way to use up that little bit of extra milk you might have right before the expiration date. So it's really simple, it's only 3 ingredients, and it's going to take us about 15 minutes to get this put together. So I have a cup of milk left over. So the recipe that I use typically calls for a half gallon of milk, but I've adjusted it down so that I can just use up this 1 cup. It's not going to make very much cheese, there's going to be a lot of whey that comes off of it, and that's the liquid that will strain out. So today we're going to start with this 1 cup of milk, and the first step is to bring it to 200 degrees. So we're going to put this into our saucepan. And then to the side of that, I'm going to clip a candy thermometer. You can also use a digital thermometer if you want to just check it regularly, but I like to use a candy thermometer because it allows me to watch it as it goes. Okay, so then we're just going to put this over medium heat on the wood stove. I'm just putting it in a hot spot, and it's going to take it a little bit, so we're just going to leave it sit there while it starts to heat up, and then we'll come back and start the next part of the process. Our milk has reached 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It just started to foam up, so you want to make sure that you keep an eye on it so it doesn't start to bubble and boil too much. I stirred it occasionally throughout just to make sure that it wasn't scorching on the bottom or anything. So now we're going to take our vinegar or lemon juice, whichever you choose, and we're going to add about half a tablespoon to this 1 cup of milk. Remember, you just multiply it up as you need it. I'll put a formula on the blog post so that you can adjust it to meet however much milk you have. So I've put the vinegar in. I'm just going to give it a quick stir. And I'm also going to put in just a pinch of salt. You can always add more later if you want. So immediately you should begin to see some separation occur between the milk curds and the whey. And that's what we need to watch for. So we're going to let it sit for about 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes it should be almost completely separated. All right, our 10 minutes is up, and if you take a look at your cheese, it should start looking like floating curds in there. So what we want to do is strain those curds out from the whey. So I'm just going to take a discard container, take a strainer, fine mesh strainer, place that over my container to collect the whey, and then you want to take some cheesecloth and just layer it up. I've got it folded in half, so it's just 2 layers. And then you're just going to slowly pour this over your cheesecloth. And it's going to take it a little bit, so we're going to let it sit for probably another 10 minutes or so. If you like a drier, more firm ricotta, you can let it strain longer. If you want something that's a little bit wetter, like I said, more towards the cottage cheese side, you can take it off a little bit sooner. So we'll just set this aside and let it drain out. Our ricotta's been sitting for about 10 minutes. It's still a little bit soft, so I'll probably let it continue to drain. But I'm going to go ahead and test it out because it's ready to use once you finish draining it, or you can put it in the fridge and keep it for up to about a week. I highly recommend, again, putting it on some pizza or maybe making some homemade lasagna, whatever you like. But today I'm going to take a slice of some freshly made sourdough that I've warmed in the oven and just take it straight out of this container and spread it on here. So there is our freshly made ricotta. It kind of looks a little bit like cream cheese, but it tastes so much better. So I'm going to go ahead and have a sample of this. And there really just is nothing like freshly made homemade cheese. I hope that you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and please tune back next week. We'll have another one up for you. In the meantime, please check out our YouTube channel. It's Magazine Foxfire. Subscribe to our channel. Check out all of our other videos. We've got a lot of content up there for you. Also, please consider joining our Patreon program. For just $5 a month, you can get a digital magazine as well as all kinds of bonus content. If you're not interested in that, then please just follow along on Instagram or Facebook at foxfire.org. And always feel free to please send us your comments, questions, feedback. You can shoot us an email at foxfire@foxfire.org. Thank you and see you next time.